Communication is when one animal transmits information to another animal, causing some kind of change in the animal that gets the information. Communication is usually between animals of a single species, but it can also happen between two animals of different species. Animals communicate using signals, which can include visual, auditory, or sound-based, chemical, involving pheromones, or tactile, touch-based cues. Communication behaviors can help animals find mates, establish dominance, defend territory, coordinate group behavior, and care for young. Have you ever wondered how ants follow what seem to be invisible trails leading to food? Why male dogs mark their territory by peeing on buses and lampposts when you take them for a walk? What birds are saying to one another when they chirp outside your window? We will take a look at this and many other forms of communication used in the animal kingdom. Communication takes many forms. Communication, when we are talking about animal behavior, can be any process where information is passed from one animal to another, causing a change or response in the receiving animal. Can communication happen by accident? Communication most often happens between members of a species, though it can also take place between different species. For instance, your dog might bark at you to ask a treat. Some species are very social, living in groups and interacting all the time. Communication is essential for keeping these groups cohesive and organized. However, even animals that are relative loners usually have to communicate at least a little, if only to find a mate. There are some common types of signals. First, pheromones or chemicals, and the second, auditory cues or sounds, and the third, visual cues, and the fourth, tactile cues or touch. Pheromones. A pheromone is a secreted chemical signal used to trigger a response in another individual of the same species. Pheromones are especially common among social insects such as ants and bees. Pheromones may attract the opposite sex, raise an alarm, mark a food trail, or trigger other, more complex behaviors. Auditory signals. Auditory communication is particularly important in birds, who use sounds to convey warnings, attract mates, defend territories, and coordinate group behaviors. Some birds also produce bird song, vocalizations that are relatively long and melodic and tend to be similar among the members of a species. Visual signals. Visual communication involves signals that can be seen. Examples of these signals include gesture, facial expression, body posture, and coloration. Gesture and posture are widely used visual signals. For instance, chimpanzees communicate a threat by raising their arms, slapping the ground, or staring directly at another chimpanzee. Gesture and posture are commonly used in mating rituals and may place other signals, such as bright coloring, on display. Tactile signals are touch. Tactile signals are more limited in range than the other types of signals, as two organisms must be right next to each other in order to touch. Still, these signals are an important part of the communication repertoire of many species. Tactile signals also play an important role in social relationships. For instance, in many primate species, members of a group will groom one another, removing parasites and performing other hygiene tasks. Is animal communication regarded as language? The structure of organ of speech possessed by human is different from animals. Proportionally, the mouth of human is smaller compared to primate. This size is easy for human to arrange or organize the speech organ in order to produce sounds, words, clause, phrases, and sentences. For non-humans, primates, especially chimps, they have long and thin tongue, and they are all within the oral cavity. This kind of organ is only appropriate to lick, swallow, and to feel or taste of food. Comparatively, the ratio of the tongue produces inadequate space to move its tongue to and fro. Henceforth, its ability to modify or produce the airstream is limited. As a matter of fact, the sound produced is also distinctive. What is communicative or communication used for? As the example above illustrates, animals communicate using many different types of signals, and they also use these signals in a wide range of contexts. Here are some of the most common functions or communication. First, obtaining mates. Many animals have elaborate communication behaviors surrounding mating, which may involve attracting a mate or competing with other potential suitors for access to mates. Establishing dominance or defending territory. In many species, communication behavior are important, establishing dominance in a social hierarchy or defending territory. Coordinating group behaviors. In social species, communication is key in coordinating the activities of the group, such as food acquisition and defense, and in maintaining group cohesion. Caring for young. Among species that provide parental care to offspring, communication coordinates parent and offspring behaviors to help ensure that the offspring will survive. As the examples show, communication helps organisms interact to carry out basic life functions such as surviving, obtaining mates, and caring for young. I think that's all for me for explanation about animal communication. Thank you.